Hi, here's yet another math lesson from us, and for today we will be exploring the topic trigonometry. To start with, we will learn about the trig ratios of obtuse angles. From there, we will move on to the sine and cosine rules for triangles. We will then take a look at a new and unconventional way of finding the area of a triangle. We will study bearing and lastly look at angles of elevation and depression. We have learned about cos, sine, and tan. We have used our calculators to find the cos, sine, and tan. And now it's time for us to understand their trians with angles of varying sizes. To get there, we need to understand the different types of angles there are, especially acute and obtuse angle. Trig ratios of obtuse angles are based on what we call quadrants. Each revolution of 360 degrees is made up of 4 segments of right angles, which are ordered from the top right to the bottom right in an anti-clockwise direction. There are 4 segments, and that is the reason why we call them quadrants. Angles behave differently in each quadrant. This can be ascertained when we place a right-angled triangle in a unit circle with its acute angle at the center and apply the trig ratios to determine the nature of the acute angle at the center. This means that the triangle is of the same area, and the only difference is how the acute angle behaves at different positions with cos, sine, and tan. Please note that a unit circle is a circle whose radius is 1, such that the hypotenuse of the triangle becomes 1. The radius can be 1 meter, centimeter, or whatever measurement of length, as long as it is a unit. We play around with our triangle and move it all around the revolution. When we have calculated the trians and acute angles of the triangle in a unit circle, we find that all acute angles are positive between 0 and 90 degrees, whether they have a cos, sine, or tan. We also find that angles between 90 degrees and 180 degrees only have a positive sign. When tan or cos are applied to obtuse angles, they become negative. Similarly, all angles between 180 and 270 degrees have a positive tan only, and become negative when sine and cos are used. Lastly, from 270 degrees to 360 degrees, angles become positive when they have a cos. Tan or sine values of such angles are always negative. This leads us to yet another cheat code. All students take coffee, which is ordered in the number of quadrants. It is useful in reminding us which angles are positive in which quadrants, as it is ordered quadrant 1 to quadrant 4. Students stand for sine, take stands for tan, and coffee stands for cos, while all represents all as it is. So to drill it in, the sine, cos, and tan of all acute angles are positive. The sine of an obtuse angle is equal to the sine of its supplement. This means that if we have 150 degrees and 30 degrees, the sine of both are equal. We have to remember that supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees. The cosine of an obtuse angle is equal to the negative cosine of its acute supplement. This is because cos is negative in the second quadrant, meaning that when we have 150 degrees, when we have the sine of 150 degrees, it is equal to the negative cosine of 30 degrees. The tangent of an obtuse angle is equal to the negative tangent of its acute supplement. That means that when we have tan 150 degrees, it is equal to negative tan 30 degrees.